Happy Wednesday, everyone. May 29th, 2024, and we have a lot of weather to talk about in today's video, including temperatures with excessive heat. We have more severe storms across portions of the country, and we're going to look ahead at early June's weather pattern and give you what you need to know in today's weather forecast. So make sure you do subscribe below, make sure you give the video a like, and also leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll get to those later on today. So low temperatures this morning across the country. We do have temperatures starting off this morning into the 50s across the north, the 60s and 70s across the south. Not too shabby to start the day. And here are your high temperatures as we get into your Wednesday afternoon. A little bit cooler over here into portions of the eastern Great Lakes, the northeast here, especially interior northeastern areas, and then up into southeastern Canada. But here's the heat. We have the heat building across portions of the central southern plains. We're back well into the 80s this afternoon, even some 90s. Look at Florida here. Tallahassee region up to 90 this afternoon, 87 there in Miami, so we're definitely going to be heating up across the south. Thursday afternoon, more heat again across the south, some cooler air across the northeast with temperatures there into the 60s. And then as we go into Friday, we have more of the same here with more heat across the south and some typical spring-like temperatures across the north as we go into Friday afternoon to end the month of May. Here's the radar this morning. Pretty quiet after what has been a very active last several days. We have a couple showers up here into portions of the northern Rockies, into Idaho and Montana. A couple showers and storms up here into northeastern Ohio, into western Pennsylvania, and a couple showers and storms down here into Oklahoma and eastern Texas as well. And this is, again, on the heels of what was another active day yesterday. Here are the storm reports from your Tuesday, May 28th, and you can see a lot of wind reports here in the blue, a lot of hail reports in the green, even some wind reports even up in the Pacific Northwest as well. We had a tornado reported into western Kentucky, a couple tornadoes back here, one into Colorado and one in northeastern New Mexico, so we had a total of 3 of those yesterday. So again, make sure to subscribe to the channel, make sure to like the video, leave any comments, questions, concerns below. We'll get to those later on today. And again, let's look at the severe weather, and you can see we do have marginal slight risk for severe weather up and down the plains here, mainly the western plains and into the Rockies. We see that slight risk extending from the western Dakotas, far eastern Montana down here all the way to the Front Range into eastern Colorado. Another very small slight risk into West Texas as well, mainly for wind. So we're looking at mainly 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, maybe 65 miles per hour at the strongest. Could be seeing some quarter-size hail in most of this area. Down here in West Texas, though, there could be a small area where we could see hailstones over 2 inches in diameter and a very small 2% chance of a tornado there, mainly in southeastern Colorado as we go into later today. Here is the setup. We have dew points advecting north from the Gulf of Mexico, as we always do for these severe weather setups, and you can see that dew points aren't particularly high, especially the further north that you go into the northwestern plains like the Dakotas, Nebraska, here into eastern Colorado. Note the dew points here are in the upper 40s and low 50s, so the instability is not going to be as high with further north extent. But further south, even so, we still have dew points here in the panhandle of Texas into the upper 40s, low 50s. You have to get all the way down here into West Texas to even reach the mid 60 dew points as we go into later today, and that's where the higher instability will be pooling into that region. 2,000, 3,000 joules per kilogram of instability. It lessens the further north that you go. So that's why we have that significant hail risk in West Texas, because of that larger instability down in that vicinity. So let's walk you through this late through the morning here. Pretty quiet across most of the plains outside of a shower or a storm here in southeastern Oklahoma or East Texas. What we're seeing now as we go into the afternoon, we're going to see these blips start to show up across portions of the northwestern plains and the Front Range. This will be the start of some of our storms that will move out across the plains, mainly the north central plains as we go into the evening. Note the scattered coverage here. Not everybody will see showers and storms, but if you do get under one of those, severe weather will be possible, and then that will continue as we go into after midnight, early Thursday morning. Maybe a couple storms waking us up here in the Amarillo area, the panhandle of Oklahoma, and western Kansas as we start the day on Thursday. And speaking of Thursday, another slight risk of severe weather from southeast Colorado all the way back here through southwestern Kansas, northeast New Mexico, into western Oklahoma, into Texas, including the Oklahoma and Texas panhandles. We do have the threat for more damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, more quarter-size hail, if not larger than that, and a small 2% chance here of a tornado or two across the plains as we go in through the day on Thursday. Starting off the morning, we have a little bit of a cluster of showers and storms here across Oklahoma and northwest Texas, Wichita Falls, Lawton, Fort Sill, maybe just west of the Oklahoma City area. This could pose a risk for wind and hail, really not looking at a tornado threat. Areas to the north, the instability will be very small, so I think this will mainly be your everyday garden variety storms up here in the Dakotas, western Minnesota, Nebraska, and western Iowa to start the day. As we go into Thursday afternoon, we're going to see more storm development. That first morning shot of storms across the North Texas vicinity, the Red River area here in Oklahoma, will be pushing off toward the east. More storm development to the west. These will blow up into supercells Thursday evening, peak heating of the day. Maybe some lines of storms further north into Nebraska as well. And then that will have a tendency to grow upscale. We could have another one of those really big bow echoes moving through North Texas, through the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I know a lot of those areas saw 60 to 80, 85 mile per hour winds just a couple of days ago overnight. We may have that again as we go into Thursday night into early Friday morning. And looking at Friday, we have another threat for severe weather. A slight risk here, level 2 out of 5 for southeast Oklahoma, east central Texas, including North Texas, southwestern Arkansas, into western Louisiana here, with that marginal risk surrounding that, again, for all modes of severe weather there, damaging winds, large hail, and a couple tornadoes. Rainfall will also be a big deal here. We're going to see a lot of the same areas seeing rainfall here through the first day of June, through Saturday, June 1st. You can see from Nebraska southward through Kansas, Oklahoma, North Texas, eastward into portions of Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, maybe parts of Mississippi there, seeing a decent rains of at least an inch there in a lot of those areas I mentioned, possibly even well more than that. We could see 2 to 4 inches swaths there, maybe even up to 6 inches into North Texas there towards Texarkana. So a lot of rainfall as we go through the end of this month over the next couple of days. Now let's switch gears. Let's look into early June here. Saturday, June 1st through Saturday, June 8th, the first week or so of June here, we're going to see this ridge of high pressure building across the western third of the country. Note the tongue of this blue starting to move over top of that ridge. That is a low pressure storm track area across the southern Canadian prairies and into portions of the northern U.S. But looking at our temperatures here, well, underneath that ridge, temperatures will be soaring well above average. We're seeing areas of a 23 to 24 degrees above average temperatures across the western third of the country. Near normal down here across the south and southeast, but still, again, a pretty warm time of year. So we're seeing all warm temperatures throughout, just depending on what your average is. And let's look at early next week. Let's look at this jet stream here. Over top of that ridge, we're going to have a stronger jet stream initially across the Pacific Northwest and into the high plains up here toward the Dakotas and Wyoming and Montana. As we go into late next week, notice the jet stream even retreats further off to the north, and you can see it starts to dive back southeastward across the northern plains, the central plains, the upper Midwest, into the Ohio Valley here. That's something we're going to have to watch out for. We could have these clusters of showers and storms that could develop up here into the Dakotas, Nebraska, and then dive southeastward here. And this pattern is notorious for producing a series of derechos, especially during the warm season. So that is something to keep an eye on here. Not to say we are going to for sure, 100% see a derecho out of this, but it is a pattern that is recognized for the potential to produce that as we go into the first week there into June. And you can see where the heaviest rains will be across the upper Midwest, but really the Mississippi Valley here to the east of that ridge axis. That's where we're going to see a lot of the heaviest rains. And notice under the ridge, we're really not seeing a lot of that rain. And even the southeast, like the Carolinas, Georgia, and Florida, seeing not much rainfall either through the first week there into June. And notice how we're talking about severe weather with derechos and stuff like that. Yeah, this is the area where I'm thinking it has the highest potential of severe weather in general, but also the potential maybe for a series of those lines of storms, squall lines, derechos, stuff like that. having a higher concentration of that across portions of South Dakota, diving southeast through the Corn Belt and into northern portions of Arkansas. Even in the orange, you have a medium chance of severe weather, and in the yellow here, you have a low potential for severe weather. So we'll be keeping a very close eye on the forecast over the next several days, and you can bet we will keep you covered. We'll have another video forecast for you tomorrow. Again, make sure to subscribe to the channel here at Weather on the Go. We cover southern Canada, the United States, and the tropics. Yes, tropical season is upcoming here. It starts June 1st, so we'll be covering that this year. Make sure to leave any comments, questions, and concerns below, and definitely like the video, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Wednesday out there.